Hello, good day, welcome back. I'm Reverend Philip Ong, your co-student in God's Word through Salva Vida Ministries. We are talking about the parables of Jesus in the Gospels in this series. Particularly today, let's talk about the barren fig tree. On two occasions, Jesus dealt with a barren fig tree. One, as he cursed a barren tree. The second, when he told a parable about a barren fig tree. Now, both instances gives us insight into the time of the end at the parables in the Gospels. Take a look and carefully let us study with a right perspective. Well, we're looking at the time of the end at the parables of Jesus in the Gospels, and we want to share with you Matthew chapter 21. Notice verse 12 and following. Jesus went into the temple, and there he found the money changers. Then he found those who were abusing the temple. They were not doing and treating the temple as it was intended to be used. They were perverting the temple. Jesus cast them out. He began to heal in the temple. He began to teach in the temple. Then he went to Bethany. In verse 18 of Matthew 21 and following, now in the morning, as he returned to the city, he was hungry, and seeing a fig tree by the road, he came to it, and found nothing on it but leaves, and said to it, let no fruit grow on you ever again. Immediately the fig tree withered away. In the morning he was returning to the city, but as he walks along, he comes to a fig tree. Well, according to the customs of the day, it was perfectly legal for him to go to that fig tree and to eat of it. All right, well, there were no figs on it, and Jesus said, let no fruit grow on you ever again. And immediately the fig tree withered away. And the disciples saw it, and they marveled, saying, how did the fig tree wither away so soon? Now I want you to notice something. Jesus has been to the temple looking for the fruit of righteousness, and he found none. He cast those money changers out. Now watch this in a parable with a similar theme in Luke chapter 13 verse 6 and following. He also spoke this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came seeking fruit on it and found none. Then he said to the keeper of his vineyard, look, for 3 years I've come seeking fruit on this fig tree and find none. Cut it down. Why does it use up the ground? But he answered and said to him, sir, let it alone this year also until I dig around it and fertilize it. And if it bears fruit, well, but if not, after that you can cut it down. Now this is why I say thematically this concept of the fig tree is a very important concept. In Luke chapter 13, Jesus told a parable of a man who had a fig tree, and he came to it and he found no fruit. Now remember, Jesus went to the temple to look and to see what was going on, and he found nothing producing righteousness. So he said to his servants in the parable in Luke chapter 13, this tree has been planted for 3 years. I've come to it for 3 years looking for fruit. Jesus had a ministry to Israel a little over 3 years seeking for the fruit of righteousness. So he said to his servant, cut it down. And the servant said, Lord, tell you what, give it 1 more year, give it a little more time. Let me plant, or let me water it, let me tend to it, and if it does not produce fruit, then cut it down. Jesus is depicting Israel as the fig tree. You see, in the Old Testament, Israel is depicted as the righteous tree of Yahweh. She is also depicted, as we shall see, as the vineyard of the Lord that was supposed to bring forth fruit, the fruit of righteousness, the fruit of mercy, the fruit of holiness, but she did not produce that fruit. And thus, Jesus went to the temple in Matthew 21 looking for the fruit and found none. And as well, we shall see, he cursed that temple. Conclusion is this: as in Luke chapter 13, he told the parable of the fig tree that had not borne fruit even after being tended so well, and gave the curse, although a little bit more mercy will be extended. Jesus was setting forth the absolute fact that the time had come for Israel to either produce the fruit of righteousness, the fruit of holiness, the fruit of belief, and the fruit of acceptance of him as the Messiah, or else they will face judgment. You see, the parables and these incidences were really not so much only about personal individual lives, although that cannot be denied. They were about the corporate life of Israel failing to produce the fruit that God had called her to produce, that God had planted her as his fig tree and as his vine to produce fruit. Then, therefore, because of that, judgment was coming. We got so much more to come. See you next week, as we say in Salva Vida Ministries, bringing hope in times of trouble and witnessing God's saving grace. Goodbye.
Of life pull you down, and your heart is lost and bound. There's a